Hey everybody, my name is Colleen with Downtown Desert Yoga, and today we're going to do some yoga specifically designed for baseball players. I've got Maxwell here with me today, and we decided that what he wants to do today is to get into his hips, legs, specifically the hamstrings, get into his calf muscles a little bit. So this is going to be a short session. If you are at home practicing and you don't have any yoga blocks, not to worry. Grab a short stack of books that's anywhere between, 3 and 4 inches tall, or you could go grab a block of wood, get creative, make something. Really what you need is something that has 3 settings, a flat setting, a medium setting, and a tall setting. So grab your stuff and let's get started. I'm going to have Maxwell come on to his back. All right, Maxwell, as you come onto your back, I want you to hug your knees into your chest and just move your body in a way that feels good. Hug them in, maybe rock side to side. Yeah, if it feels good, peel your head and shoulders up off of the floor. Just rock it out. Don't worry about what it looks like. There you go. And now bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Start to draw one knee in towards your shoulder. Take a hold, maybe give it a little squeeze. Now you could leave that left foot on the floor, or if it feels good to get into a little extension into that left hip, start to straighten your left leg. There you go. And then if it feels good, you can move that right leg bone around in the socket a little bit. Yep, just draw some imaginary circles. Again, don't worry so much about what it looks like. See if you can just start to get into your body. Notice how it feels, and then do something that feels good. I'm going to give you some ideas, but you're in charge. And then as you're ready, bring the soles of both feet back to the floor again. And now take the opposite knee in towards the other shoulder. And then straighten right leg, or keep that right foot on the floor. Get into that hip socket. And then bringing both feet back to the floor again. Start to hug your knees into your chest. And if it would feel good, curl the tailbone up off of the floor. Maybe you pick up your head, draw your chin to your chest, curl up into a little ball, and then maybe you start to drop head and your tailbone back down toward the floor. Take your knees a little bit wider and rock side to side. See if you can get into your low back that way. There you go. Good job. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Feet and knees are going to be about hip distance. So look at your knees. There you go. Relax your head, your shoulders, and your arms, and press into your feet. Start to lift your hips to find a little extension into the front of the hip flexors. So notice when you've lifted the hips, Maxwell, your knees splayed apart a little bit. Start to squeeze them together so that they're still hip distance apart. You've got it. And just hold and breathe there. We're going to take 3 more slow breaths. And then as you're ready, lower down. To come up into a seated position, peel your knees toward your chest. Take a hold of them. Head and shoulders come up off of the floor, and then you're going to rock front to back 3 or 4 or 5 times. Massage all the way up and down the length of your spine, and then eventually find your way up into seated. Nice. Now face the camera as you come around into a tabletop position. So position yourself on the mat so you've got a little bit of space back behind you. So maybe walk the hands forward a little bit. Now extend your right leg straight back behind you. And then get into your ankle, your calf, your toes a little bit, rock it out. as you press and release, you want to feel a nice stretch. So never should you feel any tinge of like discomfort. If you do, don't do that. There's no value in making yourself feel that pain in yoga. This is not a no pain, no gain kind of thing. Just get in there and feel a nice, good stretch. Rock it out. And then when you're finished up with that side, do the other side. Keep breathing as you're moving in and out of that stretch. How would it feel for you to bring your head into a neutral position as you do that? Take tension off your neck. There you go. Rock it out. Keep breathing. Feel it into your calf. It's good for your feet. All of the tight tissue on the bottom of your feet, this is fantastic for that. Good for your ankles. Couple more. All right, as you bring that knee back to the floor, grab 2 blocks, put them there next to your hands, and then you're going to take the other block and place it closer to your knee. So you'll see the reason why Maxwell has that block in front of him in a minute. So bring your left foot to the floor in between the blocks. There you go. Now, what I've noticed in Maxwell's anatomy, as he brings his torso into an upright position, his left hip is a little bit lower than his right hip. So he's going to grab, his right hip. You're right. His right hip's a little lower than his left. He's going to grab that block next to him, and he's going to place that underneath his knee. So what that does is it starts to bring his hips into a neutral position. And then from here, he's going to get a stretch into the front of that right hip flexor by leaning into it. Just hang out there. It's a very small movement. It's not extreme. Are you feeling it there, Maxwell? Are you still breathing? Most important part. Take a couple more breaths. Now, as you start to bring your hands down closer to the blocks in front of you, did you tell me you're feeling it in your hamstring in the left leg now? Yeah, so I want you to stretch it only to the place that feels good. You never want to go beyond your edge. Keep breathing. Couple more breaths here. Now the next thing Maxwell is going to do is he's going to walk his left hand inside his left foot as his left foot walks closer to the edge of his mat. And then he's going to bring the blocks up 1 level. And he's going to start to place his elbows down on those blocks. He's going to allow that left knee to drop off to find a little rotation into that left hip flexor. How does that feel, Maxwell? You still breathing? So most important thing you guys should know, if you bring your body into a position where it's so intense that you can't breathe, back it up. There's no value in that. Take a couple more breaths. To come out, bring your hands to the blocks. Walk that left leg back to neutral. Nope. There you go. And then you're going to find some extension behind that left knee. So start to straighten that leg only to the place that feels just right. You could peel left toes up off of the floor. And then you might rock it forward. There you go. And then rock it back. Get into that space, into that hamstring that feels just right. Is that the kind of stretch you were looking for? Great. We're just going to Gently move back and forth in between those two places for a few more breaths. Great. Now, back to neutral with that left knee. There you go. And then we'll switch it up. So first thing is come all the way up with your torso. And then you're going to start to lean into it a little bit. Not too extreme. I don't want you to compress into your low back. So you'll notice Maxwell's pelvis is fairly neutral. He's not dumping into his low back. He's just feeling that stretch. Where are you feeling it? Hamstring on the right. He's opening up his left hip flexor on that side that you can't see. And then from here, bring the blocks up into higher position. Start to bring your elbows down. No, we're not going to do that yet. Bring elbows down. Oh no, you're right. Come on. Find a little rotation of that right leg. You got it. Are you still breathing? Couple more breaths. And then start to bring weight into your hands. Bring that right leg back into a neutral position, and then find some extension behind that right knee. And then move back and forth to find that release and a little stretch that feels just right. Back and forth. Great. Now to wrap it up, we're going to come full circle here. So find your way onto your back again. Bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Find your way into another bridge. Notice your knees. Maybe start to squeeze them together ever so slightly. And just notice how your hips feel. You might notice some sensation in your hamstrings. If not, lower down. Walk your feet forward about 3 or 4 inches. Lift your toes and lift up into bridge again. Couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, lower all the way down. So we're going to finish up with a little hamstring stretch here. Drawing your right knee toward your shoulder, float that foot up off of the floor. Now keep that knee bent. So you're going to keep as much of your low back in contact with the floor as you start to draw the right foot up to the ceiling. You don't have to straighten it. Now, without trying to straighten your right leg, take a hold back behind your right thigh. There you go. And then you can straighten to the extent that feels good. Notice how it feels when you flex at the ankle and draw your toes toward your face. And then you extend through the ankle and point the toes up to the ceiling. Just notice how it feels in your hamstring. And then find that place where you can hang out for at least 3 more breaths here. Relax your shoulders. Use your bicep strength, not your shoulders. And then release out of that side. So without thinking about the shape you're going to create with your left leg, just start to float left foot up off of the floor. Pause there. You're not straightening yet. Notice how your low back feels, and then take a hold back behind your left leg. And then you can start to straighten to the extent that feels good, using your bicep strength, maybe a little flexion, a little extension into your ankle. Nice, slow, deep breaths. And then as you're ready, bring the sole of that left foot to the floor. So for your relaxation pose, I'm curious, which position do you feel better in? With your legs extended out straight, lengthen them out, see how that feels. Or bring the soles of the feet back to the floor. Knock your knees together and walk your feet wider. Which do you prefer? And then just relax for a bit. Give yourself a couple minutes to be here. Start to notice how the floor feels under your feet. And then start to walk your feet a little bit closer together. When you're ready, start to roll onto your side towards me. Take a pause there. Create a little pillow for your head with your arm. And then you can use that top arm, press yourself up. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.